Yes, what a pleasure and an honor to have Radio One founder of the largest African American broadcast company in the U.S., Miss Kathy Hughes, here with me at Magic 102.1.
Kandi, it is such a pleasure. Number one, you look beautiful. So thankful to God that you are still right behind that microphone here in our studio, because we were so frightened for you. But we prayed real hard for you. And God is so good. And I love the fact that you've kept a campaign going, and so I say thank you and thank God for you.
Oh, thank God for you and having me here at Magic 102. 23 years I just celebrated.
23 years.
Yes.
Wow. And you don't look but about 25 yourself. Did you start off with a baby program on Magic?
No, but my son, who now works for 92.1, was a baby when he was coming up to the radio station.
Wow.
And now he is on Radio Now.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible. You know what? It's interesting because Alfred basically grew up at Howard University Radio, WHUR. And he likes to tell this corny joke that he thought everybody worked in a radio station because his mother never exposed him to anything other than radio. But it makes a difference when you can excite young people about your career, because one of the things, I think one of the challenges we have in the African American community is getting our children to follow on paths that we've already pioneered for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can take it to a more modern, updated version, but so often we start over from scratch. But when you bring your children in and show them what you're doing, and they take an interest in, there's a special pride a mother feels when her child follows in their footsteps.
Yes. We call it Radio Runs in the Family. Hashtag.
I love that. Hashtag Radio Runs in the Family.
Yes, it does. And Alfred is doing such a phenomenal job for our brand. And
Thank you.
Make sure you tell him that we love him here in Houston as well.
Well, I'm so happy to be in Houston. I'm here with the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm the vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and the Honorable Sheila Jackson Lee is our chairperson this year. And so she decided to bring an economic empowerment summit to Houston. And one of the highlights, although it was a low light, was to go and see how some of these families are still living this long after. Either not able to get FEMA assistance, or denied by FEMA, or really don't know what to do or where to go. And it really had bothered me for some time that there were so many natural disasters occurring, just one after another. Hurricanes, fires, earthquakes. But it was kind of like Houston, in my opinion, got left on the curb in other cities. I know here it's not left on the curb. I met your incredible mayor.
Yes,
Woo!
Mr. Turner.
I was like, Reverend Turner, do you have a church?
Okay.
Woo! I haven't heard an orator that brilliant in many decades. All right, I mean, I was getting ready to take up a collection
Okay.
at the summit yesterday. But it really triggered an idea by my assistant, Carlene Brown, that we have suspended production of News One Now, because we're going to regroup and revamp the show. And yet Roland just got a brand new contract that starts January 1. So I have come up with a project that was Colleen's suggestion, and we're going to see if we can do a regular weekly report from Houston.
Okay.
And adopt families and track them.
Wow.
On the internet, on radio, and we're going to see if we can get all of our Radio 1 markets to each adopt a family and see them all the way to completion.
Nice.
Because one of the things that really touched us yesterday, at the end of the summit, they took us on this tour, and it just touched me. There was a senior citizen who had mental challenges. It was quite obvious, and her grandson was walking her. When they saw the cars come, they realized the congresswoman was there and the FEMA people. He walked her over, and it was obvious that he also had challenges. And I realized that there's only so many people available to be of assistance to these individuals. And like I said, the fact that the Houston story, which still is long from completion, far from completion, hasn't continuously been in the news. So we'll see if we can pair up some Houston families with some folks in our radio family in St. Louis and Cincinnati and around the country, and we see them all the way through the process. Because sometimes calling a government office and you're a radio station may have a little more impact than just Miss Sally Smith calling in for herself. So we're going to see, can we be of assistance. Houston, for so many years, as you well know, Kandi's our #1 market. We love the people of Houston, and it's a natural fit for Roland Martin, because until we revamp, and we probably won't be bringing News One back until the latter part of 2018, so in the interim, he's from here. So it won't be a difficult
Jack
transition.
Yates.
Exactly, correct. He'll be able to give regular weekly reports on what's going on. So that's what's the reason I'm in Houston. Always happy to be here at the station with you all. I love the fact that so many of you are like yourself and have, double-digit tenure with the company, and just really, really happy to be here, but really, really distressed and touched by what I witnessed.
Radio 1, rebuilding Houston one family at a time.
Oh, all right. All right. I hope that Carlene's in studio with me. Get that, Carlene. That's our new, right? Okay. Write that down, as the Isley Brothers would say. Ron Isley, write that down. Okay.
And what else is going on with you, Miss Hughes?
I had major surgery earlier this year. We kept it kind of quiet, but now that I'm back, I would say, what we keep it quiet for, Mama? If you're going to tell everybody your place you go. My mother turned 94 years old 3 weeks ago. And I was on like a no-fly status, okay, because turbulence. So I had a spinal issue. And so the minute I was able to get back on an airplane, I immediately went to Florida to see my mother. And the Honorable Sheila asked me, could I come and be at her side as we did this summit here in Houston. And anytime Sheila Jackson Lee asks you to do something, I have never seen an individual as well informed on that many issues, that involved with that many people. Being in Houston with her, I mean, I said to her yesterday after lunch, have you ever considered cloning yourself? Because she was being pulled in 50 different directions during this summit. We started off Sunday. Those of us who came in Sunday, we were able to worship with Pastor Greg Patrick at the bridge. I love that. With a big bridge in the pulpit. I love that. The Southwest Christian Community Center, and then had the best meal I have had in a very long time. And then we had our board meeting. She used the occasion to have the board come in, and we had our board meeting, and then we had a reception at Texas Southern in the museum, and that museum is spectacular at Texas Southern, right? I was really impressed. Then we had a dinner at the partnership, the Houston Partnership. I think there's another word in that title, but it's, I guess, a coalition of businesses here in Houston. So it's been nonstop for us since we landed in Houston, but to see Sheila be able to so masterfully stay on top of all this and at the same time conduct her responsibility, the House of Representatives. She was talking to her staff that was still in Washington about what bills left last night, is there on the floor voting today. It's remarkable. The representation that you all have is so very tempting to me to one day move to Houston.
Okay, we hope you. We're here. We're here for you. And can we call you Miss H for Miss Houston? You're gonna get your house. You're gonna get your house.
Girl, you just are full of good suggestions this morning, this afternoon. Right?
I just want to say that we love you, and we love your bold voice on reality radio.
Oh, thank
Reality
you.
radio.
Thank you. You know what? I felt so good when Colin Kaepernick became Citizen of the Year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm from Nebraska. Nebraska, all we do is play football. The Cornhuskers are world renowned, okay? And we've won 3 or 4 Heisman trophies in Nebraska. Football is big if you grow up in anywhere in Nebraska. So I have a particular interest in football. Some of these quarterbacks don't even need to be suiting up. Colin Kaepernick asleep is a better quarterback than some of these players that are making tens of millions of dollars. And for them to freeze him out like that is unconscionable because, you know, and this trying to say he's disrespecting veterans of the flag, that's all BS. All right? Going down on your knee has spiritual implications everywhere in the world, whether you're, you know, a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist. You go down on your knee. It's something sacred about that. And for them to take that and try to turn that in, and then for the President of the United States to say, fire the SOBs. I mean, but we won't even get into politics, okay? But I think that it's, and then this brother, here he is unemployed. How many people, period, unemployed give away $1 million?
Come on.
Okay? He wasn't worried about, will I ever get another job? He made a commitment to contribute $1 million, and he did unemployed. And I was so pleased that here we were on Radio 1 leading the cheering squad, and they're here, others now are recognizing him. Okay, they even got Beyonce to come out and give him an award. I was like, we were first. Okay, all right. We knew what was going on before the rest of you all caught up, but Colin Kaepernick is really the Rosa Parks of today. And that's what I don't want our viewers and our listeners and our internet users to miss, the reality that there's nothing new. God just recycles everything. And so I wanted our family members, and that's what, you know, I consider, whether you're radio, television, or internet participants with us, I can consider all of us family. And I didn't want the family to miss the reality that God once again has sent us a messenger, has sent us a leader to open paths. And, you know, these are very interesting times because the talented temp have more than they've ever had before. Athletes are making money that unheard of. Entertainers. But yet our masses are in worse shape than they've ever been before. Like I said, what I saw yesterday, right here in the city, the energy capital of the world.
Wow.
Okay? And we've got senior citizens facing eviction with mental challenges and poverty. That's ridiculous. And so I'm just hoping that, you know, we will wake up and smell the coffee before it's too late, because this whole issue, particularly with climate change and global warming, we're destroying the planet. And so it won't matter whether or not you have a good education. It won't matter whether or not you have a good job, because there won't be any place for you to go live or work or live, because Mother Nature is very interesting. She fights back. And we have been punching her square in her face for too long. When you see polar bears suffering from malnutrition trying to look for ice, when you see water, 51 inches of rain in a week in Houston.
Ooh.
All right? It doesn't rain that much almost on the whole planet, okay? But in one city that you would have, and then you're going to be ignorant and say you don't believe in global warming, and we're going to pull out of a global initiative to deal with changing things. And that concerns me very much. Earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. I mean, the things that are going on, you would really have to be mentally challenged not to accept the reality that Mother Nature is on a rampage because she's tired of being abused and mistreated. She wants a divorce. But a divorce for us would mean that we'd have to find another planet.
Wow. I think you need to come out of retirement when you get your home here in Houston and have a show on the
I'm
weekends.
not in retirement. Don't you listen to Alfred Liggins? Okay. Don't you believe my
As
son?
far as a radio show. A radio show.
Well, let me tell you something. I can't tell you how often I pitch for my radio show back. I can't tell you how often I pitch for it. I told Roland Martin, I said, you need to be real glad they gave you a new contract starting January 1, because I was getting ready to apply for News 1 now. Okay. when Steve Harvey worked for me in L.A., Steve was quite a management challenge, and I used to threaten him. I said, if you blink tomorrow morning, I'm going to be sitting in your chair. Okay, and I was dead serious.
Okay.
Management challenge.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here in Houston with us,
Thank you.
Miss Kathy Hughes, founder of Radio One.
Before
We
I leave,
love you.
Can I just reassure your listening family that I have been committed to providing news and information to the community since the day I went into radio. I created a program called The Quiet Storm that revolutionized radio, urban radio, that I'm most noted for. But what I created the same week that I created The Quiet Storm was a morning magazine format that was 40% news. So our listeners never have to worry about this company not reporting and not being involved in what's important to the African American community. It's my reason for existence, not just being in business. My reason for existence is to try to upgrade and enhance and improve the quality of life for the African American community. And you can only do that with the dissemination of information, because information is real power. And unfortunately, with the African American community, the masses, by the time we get information, it's Black history, not current events. We're always behind the information curve. And so I just want to assure everyone that you do not ever have to worry about us coming out of the news business. There will always be a dissemination of news and information on anything that I'm associated with. So I need for you to write that down.
Okay. We're coming up on 40 years, Radio One.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. God bless you,
God
Kandi.
bless
I
you.
love you.